fun, joy, these kinds of things. And this is really what naturopathic medicine focuses on. Naturally, we support your body to produce the endorphins and the hormones that are associated with positive stress levels, chronic positive stress. So movement or exercise is a way that we produce good stress. It releases endorphins, and besides that, exercise, as you probably well know, moves the blood in the lymphatic system to the excretory organs so that you can get rid of stuff. Your kidneys actually excrete about 1 liter of water a day. And this doesn't take into account the amount of water that you release as you breathe and the amount of water that you release through your stools. You know, how much water should you really drink in a day? Well, really about half your body weight in ounces. So as you can see up here, really, as an example, a 150-pound person would want to be drinking about 75 ounces. So that's about, you know, 2 liters, yeah, just over 2 of those a day. So hydrotherapy. Has anybody heard about hydrotherapy? Oh, great. Have you had
I haven't had the opportunity to do it yet, but I've been looking into it.
Yeah, great. So this is the therapeutic application of hot and cold water. And what this does is it cleanses out the blood and it cleanses the lymphatic system. It exchanges the blood and the lymphatic system through your skin. So we've been talking a lot about lymph. And so maybe we should touch base on what lymph really is. Are you guys familiar with the lymphatic system? Okay. So the lymphatic system is much like the circulatory system, except for the vessels that hold the lymphatic system, instead of holding a lot of blood, they actually hold the immune system. And our bodies remove actually more waste through the lymphatic system than through the bloodstream. So that's why moving lymph is so essential to your daily routine. And these are some of the ways that you can move lymph. Some more ways that you can move lymph. So there's castor oil packs that you can put on your abdomen. There's also dry skin brushing, and there's many more things and many more uses for castor oil than I'm going to go into here. But okay, so sunshine. This is something that we don't get much of here. And it's important because this is how we, it plays an important role in our access to vitamin D. And vitamin D really helps with mood. It also helps with the immune system in general. So, and besides being outside in the sun, you also get fresh air, which is going to help the lungs. So a balanced immune system. Why is a balanced immune system important? Well, if you have an underactive immune system, then you really can't fight off pathogens that cause diseases and whatnot, like colds and viruses, bacteria, that sort of thing. But also, if you have an overactive immune system, you end up fighting self. And so that's where the autoimmunity comes in. So, a healthy digestive system is essential. Why is a healthy digestive system essential? Basically, when we eat foods that we can't digest fully, those foods inflame our digestive tract, and then they're not broken down adequately, and they get into our bloodstream, and that creates toxicity in the body as well. So, what's the connection with autoimmune diseases and food? Well, there are certain immune cells that they're finding that are out of control in people who have autoimmune disease. And these cells are balanced by cells that protect us from and help us to tolerate foods that we eat. So our ability to digest foods and autoimmune disease are intricately linked. So how do you maintain a healthy digestive tract? This is the question. And part of it is through therapeutic diets. So there's two aspects to this. One, we want to avoid foods that are going to create toxicity and get into the bloodstream. And two, we want to include foods that are going to be health promoting and help with autoimmune disease. So there's a lot of diets out there, and not one diet is good for every person, and not one food is going to be good for every person. So really, this is one of the areas where figuring out what's right for you is helpful. Another thing that they're finding regulates the immune system is probiotics, and in particular, a probiotic called bifidus bacteria. Some people have problems actually breaking down their foods. And apple cider vinegar, among other, or something like this, can help stimulate the digestive system to break down foods so that they can be assimilated, so the nutrients can be assimilated properly. So why is inflammation important? Well, because whenever inflammation is around, you create the possibility for internal toxins to then be made. So not only can you take things in that promote toxins, but you can actually produce toxins inside your body. So this is the inflammatory cascade. From a biochemical sense, this is what we're looking at. And this pathway here can spin out of control. So in chronic inflammation, it just keeps going and going and going and doesn't stop. Whereas a healthy inflammation response, your body deals with whatever it needs to deal with to take care of the inflammation, the stress that's come into the body, and then it stops. It's done. But in an unhealthy inflammation response, you get the immune system releases cytokines, and those cytokines promote more inflammation, and then that promotes more cytokines, and then cytokines promote more inflammation. It's a downward spiral. So we have a lot of drugs that can modulate this issue that we're talking about. But what we want to look at is why the inflammation even began in the first place. We really want to get to the idea, the question, what is causing your inflammation? So here's some ways that naturopathic medicine actually addresses inflammation. There's pro-inflammatory foods, things that promote inflammation, and then there's anti-inflammatory foods, so things that will help reduce inflammation. And some of these things are found in seeds and nuts, and they're called essential fatty acids. They're not as fast-acting as the drugs that modulate it, but they're more for chronic diseases, and because they're for chronic diseases, you have to take them over the long term in order to get the effect that you want.